So I ended up seeing this movie twice, which really helped me form an opinion about this movie. So the first time I just saw it in, standard cinema and such, but the second time I actually saw it in... Where the heck did those go? Glasses? Oh. So I ended up seeing him in 3D, which I think the meme's gone already, so... Guardians of the Galaxy was directed by James Gunn, the director that directed the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, like the majority of people, I really liked the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It was awesome. So I was really excited to see this movie. And let me just say, the excitement really did pay off. So, from what I can remember from the first trailer, it didn't really give away too much in the movie, so I'm not going to give away much in this review because I didn't know much when I went into this movie. So all I'm going to say is the Guardians of the Galaxy are back to save the world again. Well, actually, Galaxy, but you get it. So let me immediately say this movie has much more jokes than in the first one. And most of them really land too. And the action scenes were also really well done as well, if that's what you were looking for in this one. It was just as good as the first one, to be honest. And I could also say the same thing with the CGI as well. Let me say this though, you know it's CGI. You see it, it's like, yeah, that's CGI, but it's good CGI. And if you're also looking for some more depth with the main characters, you definitely get that as well. And surprisingly as well, Yondu, he actually, the spear guy with the... Yeah, he actually has some more depth in this movie as well, which completely surprised me. I didn't know he was even going to really be much in this film at all. I thought there was, just going to be a little bit of a showing of him and that's it. But no, he was actually more of a focal point in this movie. I gotta be honest, I didn't really like him that much in the first movie, but I gotta say in this one, yeah, in the end, I actually really liked this character. Baby Groot was also really cool as well. He's just, like at the beginning of the movie, there was just immediate funny moment with him. I'm not gonna give anything away, but it was pretty funny. Peter Quill, or aka Star-Lord, also gets some more depth, along with Gamora as well, and Rocket as well. Most of them do, except for Drax. That's where it was kind of lacking for him. He very much just played more of a comical relief than anything else. They had a few little moments here, but compared to the others, and compared to like the first one and such, his character was definitely lacking in a sense. Talking about comparing things to the actual soundtrack as well. The first one was a great soundtrack. Now this one is also a really good soundtrack as well, but comparing it to the first one, yeah, not as good, that's for sure. One thing that made me mad about the soundtrack is they didn't use Fox on the Run, which what they use in the trailer. Another thing that was also lacking in depth in a way was the Gold People, which I'm not going to say too much, but they're basically kind of like the villains in this movie. There was a cool little aspect about them that I liked. I'm not going to say it in the non-spoilers, but other than that, I didn't really like them. Actually, now that I think about it, the Gold People did get some depth in the after credits. And another negative I'll also say is the pacing could have been better. There was just so many things that happened in this movie that it affected the pacing. Man, I hated throwing out all those negatives. So even though I've said quite a few negatives, doesn't mean I didn't like this movie. I really liked it. Like the positives it did have, and just the fact that I could see these characters again in a movie was just great in itself anyway. So I like this movie nonetheless. I loved the CGI, as I've said. And as I said before, it's definitely funnier than the first. Characters have a bit more backstory. The action scenes are still really cool as well. So yeah, I still did enjoy this movie. But when you compare it to the first one, of which I'd give the first one a 9.5 out of 10. So it's almost a 10 out of 10 for me. This one, it's got some flaws with it. It's definitely not as good as the first one. But it is still really good. So on that note, I'm going to give this movie an 8.5. Even though I didn't like this one as much as the first, I'd still recommend seeing this in cinemas, especially if you're a Marvel fan or you love the first Guardians of the Galaxy, in which, you never know, you might like this one a little bit more, especially for the humour side of it anyway. And at that note, it is also worthy of a piece of licorice. I can't open it up because I've ran out of licorice. Okay, so before I go into the spoilers, I just wanted to quickly mention something funny that happened when I first saw it in the cinemas the first time. Also, my friend Connor also went with me, the guest from the Logan review. So we went and saw it, and let's just say they didn't start actually playing Guardians of the Galaxy at the beginning. They actually started playing Going in Style. You know that movie that's come out not so long ago about the old dudes from the bank? Yeah. They actually start off with that movie. Connor and I actually thought we were in the wrong cinema at first. We were just like, I think we might have went into the wrong cinema. So we were just about to get up and leave, and then some other people were just like, I don't think this is Guardians of the Galaxy. So we're like, oh, so we're not the only ones? Okay, we'll sit down. But yeah, it was really funny. It was just so random. Okay, so I guess that's it for the non-spoiler review. Let's talk about some spoilers.
Oi!
Have you done the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review?
Yes, I've done a review. Whoa, I haven't done a spoilers review.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Well, I'll sit down.
The rest of this video contains spoilers, so I would advise watching this part of the video if you haven't seen the movie. Unless you don't mind spoilers, in that case, go right ahead. The Gold People, there was a thing I said in the non-spoilers that I liked about them, but I wanted to keep it in the spoilers. Anyway, so basically it's the whole video game thing where they control it in their own home country so they can fly around and not get themselves killed because they're in a main hub center, basically.
Yeah, it's just like how the government controls drones around to shoot things. It's just like they have a little hub and just going, I've got a remote, I'm shooting things and I'm not in the thing.
Yeah, so it saves getting a heap of people killed because they're not in them.
Yeah, and
so
except instead
really
of just
handy.
like a couple drones, there's like a fleet of thousands of them, and just here just scopes in to like where the hub, where all the pilots are. It's just like Pac-Man 8-bit video game sound.
yeah, that was awesome. So Yondu,
Yondu.
as you know, cause is much more focused in this movie. He's actually kind of a really main character in it.
It's like it's not even like almost just as like a slightly under, but almost as focused as Peter. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's
to be
such
honest,
a key
yeah.
part of the film. Right after the first bit, we're like playing all the music and stuff, like the first one. It goes to Yondu, and he's exiled from the Ravengers.
But what can I mention about him? I want to mention a bit more about Yondu.
The whistle thing.
Yeah, well, that was in the first one.
Well, yeah, but he kills like a whole ship.
And it made sense when he killed the characters off this time. They weren't circled all around him, and they're just like looking at each other going, oh, crap, I wonder what we should do. Should we shoot him? But this one, it made sense. Like, they're always in like kind of these cramped areas, and it was like in like hallways.
They were
stuff.
just like in completely different compartments of the ship, just like nowhere near them. He was just like sending this whistle, like this arrow around at light speed, killing everyone in the ship before they even can. They don't even see them. He's just like looking at security cameras, and he's just like looking at the rooms,
awesome.
and he just whistles them to that location.
And then Rocket comes along and is like shooting the people.
He just Rocket looks at the cameras, gets like 2 guns, and just like he does
So good.
Equilibrium.
Oh yeah,
He calls it equilibrium, but shoots through all these different walls and hits everyone.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And
I love that scene.
the dark room had the lights turn off and the whistle.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved that bit. That was great. And how like they had the bird's eye view shot, and it just kept like going up, and then like that you just saw a heap of dudes just getting messed up.
Oh, you were just like scoping, and you saw it just go.
Yeah, it really added some depth with him and Rocket.
Like just because of his character, he was just like so isolated. He didn't feel like anyone was really like him.
Exactly.
And actually, just like as the story progresses, just like little moments are just put out. Like he just like does all these different things because he feels like he needs to, but he doesn't. Just like steal the batteries at the start, at the very start of the film. Like they actually they were hired by the Sovereign Gold people to defend a platform with like these very like high valued batteries. And when they go back, like Rocket just like takes a bunch of bag, and when they go to fly away, that's when the Gold people rush to get them.
Yeah.
And then that's the reason why the Gold people are trying to hunt them down this whole film, because they just lost a couple batteries.
Yeah, they just lost a couple batteries. Yeah.
It's like, dude, do you have any idea how hard AAA's are hard to find?
But yeah, Rocket was probably the most saddest when actually they were all pretty sad when Yondu died. Like they all had their shared moment. Oh.
I've never been so close to crying, but not. But yeah, like there was a bit where Rocket, Groot, and Yondu get captured. And I'm like, no, Yondu's like top electric thing gets shut off by Nebula.
Yeah, that
and so he can't use his whistle thing anymore. But it doesn't. I thought it actually killed him at first. But like no, he can't.
Like,
that's the thing that controls the whistle.
To quickly talk about the taser face dude and how ridiculous.
Like Rocket's just like tied to a chair, just like and there's like because
awesome.
Yondu's old crew, they were just like they were jettisoning them all out into space.
Yeah, that
And
was
like so
insane.
Rocket was just like tied to a chair, and then like he's just like getting in the crowd and just like Taserface, and then Rocket just starts laughing, and then he just starts mocking him on his name.
Yeah,
It's just, 'cause it
so
strikes
good.
fear into the enemy, right? And they were just like,
And they're
yeah.
just like, oh. Okay, so the other thing I was going to mention about Taserface is when he was saying to the lady that,
The sovereign, the gold,
yeah, Sovereign.
the shiny gold people, the berries.
Yeah, he's trying to reveal their position, saying they're going to such and such place, and he said,
Tell them, the person who gave you the information is Taserface. And, they all just, and the person on the screen just laughs, and then he,
it was a leader too.
yeah, the leader's name was Eve, I think.
Yeah, because then Adam right at the end.
Yeah,
so
like,
yeah,
in the
Adam
after
and Eve.
credits, like she's like defeated, and then like there's like this weird like chamber thing, and then she's like,
After
I'll
credits.
call him Adam.
So while they're on the ship, I loved the scene with Groot when he kept bringing back random stuff that was not useful whatsoever. Like he brought back a freaking toe.
So like Yondu like through the jail cell, Yondu's just like, I want you to bring back a prototype fin, and then Groot walks off. It's like just like yay, and then he comes
table.
back with like a can of like tuna or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It was like,
and
no,
he
that's
gave
not
back some dude's
fin.
eye.
It's like it looks like a fin.
Yeah.
Like brings back like a fake prototype like eye, human toe, and then like
Oh.
Rocket's just like, please tell me you have a refrigerator filled with human
Body
toes, and
parts.
Yondu's just like, but like then when he goes back, he didn't get the fin. Yondu's last crew member did, and then you see like Yondu's like oh you see him in the like first one. He's like his second hand man.
Yeah.
Like he just like it's like that's not it. He goes back and then like drops the fin in front of
Yeah.
Yondu, and then he teams up with them and helps them get out.
And that fin looked really cool. Like it looked like a fish fin
It was
or a
like
shark
little,
fin.
like, arch at the top. So
yeah,
cool.
it looked really sweet. It was sad the ending because like it ends basically with Yondu.
Yondu grabs Peter, flies up last second and saves him, but they have to go into space, and he sacrifices himself to save Peter. So then Yondu dies.
Yeah, that was really sad. And then, yeah, Peter had that last moment of attachment with him because he always thought he was a horrible, I guess you could say parent, because he looked after him for most of his childhood, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Yondu always kept threatening, saying he'd eat him, didn't he?
And Yondu didn't take him back
Mm.
because he knew what what his dad was like. So he just
Yeah.
kept him. Oh no, wait. The real reason he kept him was he was like he was small, could fit into small places.
Yeah.
So then as Yondu dies, Peter realizes like he was like a father figure. Didn't want him to die, but then they pretty much cremated him, but like the little vat they put him into is like rainbow flames, and then his ashes turn into like rainbow like stardust stuff, and it ejects jettisons outside the ship.
Yeah.
And Rocket made a call out to all his old Ravager friends, and they all walked in and just set off fireworks and just like a massive fleet. It
Long
worked
run.
great. I almost cried and was like, these. Peter is a god.
Oh, yeah. That was like, I was not expecting that in this movie. Did you know anything about that whole thing? That whole backstory of...
Semi, because at the end of the
Okay.
first one, you've got half your genes is something we can't explain. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's explained. He's
Yeah.
half celestial, like a gold person.
And then he finds out in the end that, what was Peter's dad's name? I'm just going to call him Kurt Russell, okay? John Rook the Hangman catches you.
You'll
You
hang.
hang. But like Kurt Russell ended up giving Peter's mum a tumor in the end.
Yeah.
Which is what made him really pissed. And that was, oh god.
Yeah, so like he was just like he just like hallucinated from like what his dad was showing
this
him.
power.
And it's like I feel bad for like giving him that tune, but then he just snaps
What?
to and just like,
Yeah.
and then he just pulls out his blast and just goes ham on shooting him. I actually just felt my heart sink when he said that. Just going, but yes, Peter's half god and he can create whatever you want. Oh yeah, like the cat. I'm playing cat.
That was a nice touch. Yeah, so he always dreamed of, playing catch with a father, and he never had that, and then, later on in the movie when he does find his dad, he does that, so that was a nice touch.
Yeah, this is when like his dad shows him how to like he has
his
to
power.
focus, and he like creates like a ball, and then they play catch with that after he shows him his powers, which was really cool.
I don't know about you, but I felt a little bit off with the way, like actually in a good way, not in a bad way for the movie, but I kind of felt off when Kurt Russell, the way he said yes when he had that power, the way he said it sounded very aggressive and not, proud of
finally,
him.
because
Yes,
that was
yes.
his way of
He was like,
trying
yes!
to. I
guess
just
you could
realized that
say.
was his way of trying to see if he had the powers, and if he didn't, he would have killed him.
Yeah.
Because like Gamora and Nebula, when they have like a spat, because you can talk about when the ship sweeps in.
It's a play on basically from the first one, and like when Rocket went into Ronan's ship and he just went charging into the ship all
Just
aggressive
blasted through the
like.
front windshield.
Yeah, that's literally like what the sister was like. What the goddamn's her name?
Nebula.
When Nebula went charging at her because she was like in a cave, right, and she just goes charging in. It was so relentless. Like she was just wanted to kill her.
Dove into the cave. Gamora won the fight between them, and like
Holy
Nebula
sh!
spares her.
Holy sh! She was able to grab that big ass gun and shoot it. Holy crap!
It was like a giant cannon that was built into the ship, and Gamora just goes.
Jesus. Well,
She didn't even have any recoil. She was walking forward.
yeah, she had a little bit of kick, but it was like, good God. But they kind of do show off her strength a little bit at the beginning with when she was like holding Drax. But good God, this is so much more heavier. Like I was kind of criticizing of her holding on to Drax at the beginning. I was like, how the hell is she holding that guy? And then that comes along. I'm like, all right.
And then like they have a small fight, and Nebula wins but spares her because Gamora saved her by bringing her out of the ship before it explodes.
Yeah, basically.
So then they just like sort of like make up a bit, and they go to crawl out of the cave, but then they see the pile of skeletons.
Are they all just the people he's tried to?
All his sons.
Because that's what Yondu was doing. He was getting those people, wasn't he?
He was going against the Ravager's code and like
taking
pretty much, and the others were killed off by by Peter's dad
because they
because
couldn't do it.
The godlike genes didn't pass on, so that's like the playing catch thing. Like when he gets Peter to like try and make the ball, that's his way of making a test. And if Peter didn't make it, he would have been killed.
Well, we were talking about Nebula earlier, actually with the background of her, that her dad, Thanos, actually every time she lost a battle with Gamora.
Every time like one of them would lose, they'll replace a body part with a robot, like a robot limb, like arm, leg, like head,
It was
eyes.
insane. Yeah, because like she had half of her face was like robotic, wasn't it? Yeah, it was like Jesus.
Like all her limbs were robotic.
Jesus.
Since Nebula kept losing, most of her body was replaced with robot parts to try and match up to Gamora, but she would lose no matter what.
So basically, Mantis is introduced in this movie, and she's Peter's dad's Kurt Russell's like assistant, I guess you could say. She was like helped him with stuff. She actually helped him sleep because he wasn't able to sleep because of things. Because she has a special power. Her antennas do this thing where she can like feel people's emotions, and she can also kind of like place an emotion.
Yeah, because her race, like they cannot convey their own emotions very well, but they can like touch someone and actually just know, like feel what emotion they're feeling. They're able to express what others are expressing.
Yeah. So that was pretty clever. That funny scene. You just told her your deepest, darkest secret. Oh, Drax. I gotta say, Drax had some great moments joke wise. Like he absolutely killed it in regards to. Yeah. Oh God. When he would say like, like even at the end, he was like, "Oh, you're beautiful on the inside."
Like she can touch one and actually just like mind trick them into just like sleeping, doing something like specifically feeling another emotion, whatever.
Which was handy for Kurt Russell because he had trouble sleeping. He wasn't able to sleep because probably all this crap going through his mind with like taking over the universe and such.
And that's how he stops. That's how she suppresses him from like attacking them as a god. Like touches one of the veins inside the planet's core and like shouts sleep and puts him to sleep for the time being. And she knew what happened to all the kids. Like she wanted to express that to Drax. And then when Gamora saw the skeletons, she ran back and forced her to say.
When they do a cool circular Avengers thing, like an epic thing when they're all together, like in the first Avengers when they do a circular thing, she's sitting down there in a crouch, she gets knocked in the head. Oh, that was so random. I was not expecting it. Yeah, she was like trying to stop him from getting too aggressive, and then she just gets smacked in the head by some random debris.
Yeah. So like the thing with like there was like an almost thing in the first one with Gamora and Peter, but like it was like nothing was really mentioned about it. So then in the second one they were like fighting, like Peter meant like just like talks like references. Like quotes TV shows as just like how like two characters in a TV show like how they like almost have like a romantic thing going on, but the viewers are scared of things changing, so they just lash back.
Definitely Smallville.
You said that in the cinema.
Yeah. Oh God, that goes on for like
all of it.
Well, they end up breaking up near the end. Yeah. I still like the show, but good God. I think it went on like 4 seasons of just that bull crap.
So viewers would just like lash back and they don't want things to change. So but they like the creators just want something to happen between them. So they just like sort of linger around this almost thing between them. So it's just like some unspoken thing. And he quotes that, it's just like, it's some unspoken thing. And then at the end, like at Yondu's funeral, like Gamora just like gets close to Peter and looks at him, and then Peter just says like, what is it? And then she just says, it's some unspoken thing. It's like, oh, there's a nice wrap up.
Yeah, that was a good way to wrap up the movie in the end. I think it pretty much finished just after that, didn't it?
And then it went, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then after credits.
Talking about like teenage Groot.
Teenage Groot. That was really funny. Like Peter walks in, freaking tree vines everywhere, just scattered all out through the room, and he says like, "You gonna clean up this mess?" And he's just like, "I'm Groot," and all
like,
this crap.
I'm Groot, just like playing like a flat screen like Game Boy thing. And like Peter's just like arms on. It's like you and that device of yours. He's just like behaving like a mother with like newfangled technology, like on the computer all the time, sort of thing.
And then how the second hand man, I guess you could
Don't know
say,
his name.
He was playing around with the arrow trying to get it working, and he ends up stabbing Drax in the damn chest, and he's saying, "I go, ah!"
He just like,
God.
He can't control it. He could have just stabbed himself.
Yeah, he could. I thought he was going to accidentally stab, or like at least cut himself, and I was like, "Oh no, don't do it."
And then just like, and Drax goes, ah, and the camera just pans over, just like, ah,
and then he just walks up. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the non-spoilers review. So I know you think it's a great movie, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I got the Roll Kit shirt. He's Roll Kit.
Yeah. Actually, before we just finish, it's right at the beginning of the movie, with Groot when he was little Groot, baby Groot, and with the starting scene when the song was playing and such, and he was dancing and stuff, I felt like that went up tad too long. Just
agree.
a tad.
It means me
Yeah,
too
just
long.
Anyway, so I think that's it. For the non-spoilers review.
I'll get out of your house now. Do you remember the previous one, since I had to leave? I wasn't in when.
Okay.
Or can I be here for the click?
You can click out.
Can we click at the same time?
Oh god, this is gonna take forever. I remember. Oh god. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you folks in the next one.